Now,
on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
O'Connor and Company.
It's 7:06, and it's O'Connor and Company. Great way to start the day. Thanks for letting us be a part of your morning routine. Coming up at 7:35, Justin Goodman. Now, he's with the White Coat Waste Project. They look into waste in the government, specifically in medical experiments. And apparently, Anthony Fauci's been injecting COVID-type viruses into bats before it was cool. Justin will tell us that story. 8:15, Gary Higgins running for the House of Delegates in Virginia. And at 8:35, Henry Rogers of the Daily Caller. I'm Larry O'Connor with the effervescent Mercedes Schlapp. Good morning, Mercedes. Joining us right now is Kevin Pinkney. He's running for school board in Fairfax County. The website is Pinkney for School Board, the number 4. And all right, Kevin, it's the final stretch. Is it possible? What's going on in Fairfax County with that school board that seems to have gone in so far of a direction that they've fallen off the ledge?
Well, they certainly have. And what we are hearing from voters and what we are hearing resonate with voters from Republicans, Independents, Democrats, there is deep recognition and concern about school safety. And school safety comes in a bunch of different flavors. I was surprised to hear from students at school saying, you don't go into the bathrooms. They're not safe. Nothing good ever happens in the bathrooms. And
Wow.
I've talked to parents, teachers, you hear all kinds of stories of misbehavior. And I began pulling the string on why this, why now? And the answer comes back to the school discipline policy that the school board has systematically dismantled. They have added in this idea that school discipline, quote, must be implemented in ways that are equitable, close quote.
Equitable.
So instead of,
There we go.
And that is the wellspring of all the problems. It is the idea that you would treat a student differently, more leniently, if their identity group is disproportionately represented in students that should be suspended or what have you. Well, it is absolutely shocking to me that that's the case. But in August, it's even going to get worse. The school board has taken out from the school discipline policy the idea that the goal is to prevent student misbehavior. You go on the website, that's been stricken out on the red line. Well, if your goal is no longer to prevent student misbehavior, you're going to prevent a lot less student misbehavior.
Kevin, what made you decide, okay, it's time to run? It's always people, I think Republicans for a long time did not take school boards very seriously. Like they just, they usually think about the federal elections are more important. Let's get, the some of the state elections, but these local elections really, I think Democrats really have led in pushing their candidates while Republicans have been asleep on the wheel. What have been your reasoning, your top issues in moving forward in basically deciding to run for office?
Well, two things. One is I have kids in this school, so I really care what's going on in this school. It's amazing to me how many school board members don't have kids in the school. They're doing this to other kids, not to their own. But I was at my daughter's graduation 2 years ago, and we were out on the football field, and the first person that was, recognized and introduced was the school principal. And we knew her. We've had kids in that school for 8 years in a row, and we knew a lot of the administration. But the very next person that gets introduced at this ceremony of honors, the second most worthwhile or worthy person to be recognized, was somebody that none of us knew. It was the Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, we have lost the narrative on schools being about education. Why wasn't the vice principal of academics up there, or the vice principal of student services or activities? No, it was this person nobody had heard of. None of the other parents had ever met this person, but there they were collecting an administrator's salary. And that's when I knew something was wrong. And
so you decided to get in and run. And of course the conventional wisdom is that Fairfax is just so far gone, and we know that this is a nonpartisan race, but we do have a slate of candidates that are supported by the Democrats in Fairfax and one supported by the Republicans. You're in the latter camp. Are you meeting any resistance when you go door to door? Because you're not leading with, hi, I'm a Republican. You're leading with, here's the problem in our schools, and I want to help fix them. So what's the response you're getting?
I have been very excited to see that the response I get when I talk about school safety and I talk about academics first, a lot of parents know that there's a problem. I get great response in immigrant communities, Hispanic-speaking voters, African Americans. I've been working the polls this week, and 3 out of 4 people who are African American took my card and said, "I'm voting for you. Thank you for running." The school board has gone so far and become so extreme on issues that they've abandoned the common sense middle. And I'm a radical moderate, and my message is resonating with voters across the spectrum. People want honest schools that honestly report test results. They don't want a school that adjusts the SOL scores to make it look like kids are passing their SOLs when they're not. And when parents find out about that kind of bait and switch, they are very upset.
So what do you need right now? Because Lord knows they are well funded over on that side. And a lot of the money does come from the National Teachers Association, the national unions that then get their agenda pushed through. That we saw that play out during the pandemic and the lockdowns. What do you need right now to help you push through to the final election day next Tuesday?
Well, we need everyone to come out and vote. I talked to a lot of Republicans that are unsure whether it matters for them to vote. It's been a long time in my area of the county that they've seen someone succeed. This race is neck and neck. So we need everyone to come out and vote. We need volunteers to help call voters to get them to the polls. We have a couple thousand people that we'd like to reach out to who haven't voted yet. And resources are always welcome. But number one, get to the polls. Go and vote, because we have a real shot this year. Our issues are favored by 80% of the people in the county, and we can win this.
All right. I mean, that it's encouraging to hear, and I hope you're right, because I truly do believe, as Mercedes just said, Republicans have sort of not focused enough on these local. I mean, we've focused it out of here on this radio station for the last decade, but I truly do believe that if people actually vote, if they actually motivated themselves to vote in a school board election, which generally has very low turnout, we can win these seats. It doesn't take a lot of votes to flip one of these seats. But all we need, Kevin, is the focus and the attention, the motivation, and the plan to vote. And I think that's where Governor Youngkin's Secure Your Vote campaign has been so invaluable. I mean, we'll see. Final day of voting is this Tuesday coming up, and I truly do believe that a lot of these seats are winnable, even in Fairfax County.
100% agree. When you look at the voting trends, Republicans are not showing up on the out years. We're showing up for presidential elections.
Yeah.
That's contrary to the popular notion that our voters always come on the off years. The Democrats have been outcompeting us in the off years.
Yep.
We have the voters there. We have the policies. We can win this if we show up.
Thank you, sir. That's Pinkney for School Board with the number 4, pinkneyforschoolboard.com, Fairfax County. I've been saying it for years. I've been saying it since literally my first day on this radio station. We are so obsessed with presidential elections. We fall into this trap of thinking that, we get the right president and everything is fixed. And we know that that's not true. We see that that's not true. I'll say it again. What happens in your house is more important than what happens in the White House. It's 7:15.